For many years, Earth had tried to be peaceful. It sent ambassadors, it made trade deals, it joined the Galactic Senate like everyone else. Most alien empires saw humans as new, weak, and emotional. They laughed when humans tried to speak during Senate meetings. They ignored Terran requests for fair treatment. They called Earth the talking planet, always speaking, but never acting. But that changed in one moment. A normal diplomatic broadcast came from Earth. Just routine, like always. Alien stations played it in the background. The message started. With the usual peaceful lines, "This is Earth, reaching out with respect and hope for cooperation, ... But then the signal changed. Static buzzed. The video feed glitched. Suddenly, the image of Earth's chancellor appeared. She stood in a dark room with a black flag behind her, no symbols, no lights. Her voice was calm, cold, final. From this moment, she said, "We follow the Terran Doctrine." The screen went black. Then silence. Total silence. No more. Messages came from Earth. Its satellites stopped answering. Its embassies were closed. Its trade deals ended without explanation. Every Terran ship turned off its transponders. Human colonies went quiet. Not a single word came from any part of the Terran system. At first, the galaxy didn't care. "This is typical human drama," said High Lord Veras of the Drenix Empire. "They like to make noise." The Valeri Empire joked about it on their news networks. "Terrans are having another emotional breakdown," one anchor said while laughing. The Galactic Senate didn't even bother to respond. But something was different this time. Within hours, Earth began shutting down communications with the Universal Data Grid. It pulled out of every alliance. It removed Terran diplomats from over 100 planets. Human merchant fleets vanished. No messages, no explanations. The Galactic Senate grew nervous. They sent a formal message to Earth. No reply. They sent a second message. Then a third. Silence. Then something worse happened. A Terran cargo ship, unarmed and slow, entered neutral space. It was intercepted by a Korvath pirate ship. The pirates attacked without warning. Normally, Earth would protest, ask for justice, or request a Senate hearing. This time, nothing. The pirates destroyed the ship. No retaliation, no threats. No news from Earth. Something felt wrong. Worried, the Galactic Senate sent a group of Scout Swelve ships to Earth's orbit. Their mission: investigate and report. They reached the edge of Earth's system. One final message came from the scout leader. "We see no movement." All stations appear dead. Going in for a closer look. That was the last anyone heard from them. 12 ships gone. No wreckage. No distress signal. Just silence. Now the Senate was afraid. They called an emergency meeting. The room was filled with shouting, blinking lights, and confused voices. Are they under attack? Is this a trick? Did someone invade Earth? But then a single message arrived at the heart of the Senate building. It wasn't brought through official channels. It didn't come with encryption codes. It appeared on every screen at the same time: walls, on datapads, on glasses, on wrist devices. A single sentence: "The doctrine has begun." The room went silent. Senators looked at each other. No one understood what the doctrine meant. There were no records of it. No warnings. No documents. And yet, it had started. Across the galaxy, strange things began to happen. A Drenix ship traveling through deep space disappeared. No distress call. Just gone. On the outer edges of the Siveran Empire, 3 spy satellites exploded without warning. They were watching Earth's old routes. A mining colony on asteroid belt E47 found a small device. It wasn't Terran, but it used Terran language. It read, "Step back. This zone is under doctrine." People began to whisper. Terran silence wasn't weakness. It was preparation. On Earth, deep underground, machines came alive. AI systems, once kept offline, were now active. Defense systems locked into place. Strange, quiet ships rose from oceans and deserts. No noise, no lights, only movement. But no one outside Earth could see this. They only saw the silence. And silence, they were starting to learn, was the most dangerous sound of all. Some said Earth was building something. Others believed the humans had made a deal with an ancient force. Rumors spread fast. But the truth was much simpler and far more terrifying. For the first time in galactic history, Earth was not asking for permission. It wasn't negotiating. It wasn't warning. It was acting. It's the Terran Doctrine. Had no council, no rules, no second chances. You attack a human, your world suffers. You steal from Earth, you lose everything. You threaten Terran peace, the galaxy changes forever. And now it had begun. The galaxy demanded answers. What was the Terran Doctrine? Who created it? Why did Earth go silent after announcing it? Senators, emperors, and fleet commanders all searched their databases. They sent spies. They contacted old allies. But no one knew what the doctrine really meant, till a message came. Not from Earth, but from Mars. Mars had always been Earth's quieter cousin. Once a dry red rock, it now held human cities, research labs, and secret military bases hidden beneath its surface. The message came from one of those underground facilities. The speaker was an AI. It called itself Archivist 7. The AI's voice was steady, calm, but it echoed like thunder across the galaxy. The Terran Doctrine is not a policy, it began. It is not a law, a treaty, or a threat. It is a declaration of survival. Everyone listened. For centuries, Earth tried peace. It begged for equality. It offered knowledge. It welcomed aliens to its skies, oceans, and cities. Images followed, aliens sitting in Earth's councils, walking in human cities, shaking hands with Terran leaders. And what did the galaxy offer in return? Now the images changed, quick, brutal scenes. Human farmers on colony worlds being pushed off their land. Terran diplomats being shouted down in Senate halls. Human cargo ships being taxed, searched, and sometimes destroyed by pirate empires with Senate protection. Treaties broken, promises ignored. Warnings laughed at. The AI's voice grew colder. You believed Earth would never act, that humanity was soft. That silence meant fear? You were wrong. A diagram appeared. It showed the Terran Doctrine, a secret plan over 40 years in the making. The plan had 5 phases. Phase 1, disengagement, cut all contact. Cancel all treaties. Leave the Senate. Become invisible. Phase 2, silence, observe. Record, map the galaxy. Learn every weakness. Phase 3, position, deploy hidden ships. Rebuild weapons. Train soldiers off-world. Create fallback Earth-like zones on moons and icy planets. Phase 4, activation, announce the doctrine. Bait the reaction. Wait for an attack. Phase 5, response, unleash Earth's full potential. But that last phase hadn't started yet. The galaxy was frozen. They were still between Phase 4 and Phase 5. Alien leaders argued in their war rooms. We must act now, said the Sivaran admiral. Strike first. No, shouted the Valeri diplomat. If we attack, they will have reason to destroy us. We don't even know what they're capable of, added Adrenic's commander. That was the scariest part. No one knew what Terran technology looked like anymore. For 20 years, Earth had been pretending to be weak, while aliens mocked Earth had been building, learning, adapting. Terran AIs were smarter than ever. Terran fleets were hidden in places no one dared to look, inside black holes, behind gas giants, under dead planets. Ships made of stealth metal, weapons that didn't show on sensors. Soldiers trained in gravity extremes and mind resistance. And worst of all, Earth had no allies. That meant no one to protect, no one to slow them down. They were free. Then came the next event. At the edge of the galaxy, A Zorthi slave market lit up in flames. Every human held there was gone. Every alien guard was dead, killed without warning, without mercy, without sound. The station cameras caught one frame before destruction. A human in black armor. No flag, no name. Just one symbol on their chest, the Terran sun. Across 1,000 worlds, alarms began to ring. The Doctrine wasn't just a defense plan. It was a purge, a galaxy-wide correction. Earth had decided no more begging, no more waiting. No more peace for those who hurt humans and the galaxy. Had a decision to make? Would they fight or would they surrender? At the Senate, an emergency meeting was called. They tried sending another message to Earth, no reply. They begged Mars. Nothing. Finally, the archivist spoke again. You want to stop the Doctrine? Then stop your corruption. End slavery. Okay? Leave human colonies alone. Respect Terran space, or don't. And watch the galaxy change forever. On a dark moon orbiting a red star, a hidden Terran fleet waited in silence. Thousands of ships ready. No lights, no broadcasts, only patience. One voice echoed across the fleet, deep in their encrypted channels. We asked for peace. You gave us war. Now you will learn the Terran meaning of silence. The galaxy waited. For a week, there was silence. No word from Earth. No new attacks. No warning signs. Leaders told themselves, maybe the humans are bluffing. Maybe this Terran Doctrine is just noise. But in the darkness of Sector 12 far, from Senate space, a fleet of alien warships went missing. No wreckage, no distress call, nothing left. The only trace was a single line, burned into the command ship's last message. The Doctrine remembers. Back on Galaxis Prime, the Senate panicked. 12 systems locked their gates. Traders refused to visit Terran-friendly zones. Mercenaries were hired, fleets were moved, yet no one knew where to strike. Because Earth was no longer a place, they had become everywhere and nowhere. That's when the Senate made a desperate move. They launched Operation Iron Chain, a mission to capture a Terran listening post orbiting the gas giant. Unophora, forgotten moonbase, believed to be unguarded. The fleet sent was massive. 30 destroyers, 12 battleships, 5 dreadnoughts. Elite shock troops from 9 alien worlds, the goal. Capture the base. Show Earth they're not untouchable. Force a response. They arrived at Unophora without resistance. No satellites, no turrets, no defenses. The moon spun quietly beneath thick clouds. On the far side, the human listening post looked abandoned, dark, and cold. Commander Etri of the Siveran Empire gave the order. Land, breach, control. Troops landed fast. They breached the walls. They spread through the empty corridors. Still no resistance. Just rows of silent computers. Broken lights, dust. Then they found a door. Strange one, sealed with Terran script and glowing softly. One brave soldier placed his hand on it. The door opened. Inside, a single human stood in a dark room staring at them. No armor, no weapon, just calm eyes. He spoke 3 words. You are late. And then everything changed. From the gas giant's clouds, they came. Karen, ships black, silent, sleek. They didn't appear on sensors. No engine trails, no heat signatures. Within seconds, the entire alien fleet was surrounded. Terran ships didn't fire immediately. Instead, one signal was sent. Your mistake is noted. This is not a war. It is a correction. Then the attack began. Terran weapons didn't look like missiles or lasers. They looked like shadows, beams of dark light that melted shields, cut through armor, and froze ships mid-battle. Exploded before they could charge weapons. Shock troops on the moon tried to evacuate, but the hangars had already been sealed. Inside the base, the humans simply disappeared, vanished into dust. Commander Etri screamed for backup. None came. In under 7 minutes, the entire fleet was gone. All that remained above Unifor was a message left on a floating satellite. This was mercy. The doctrine does not repeat warnings. News spread fast. Worlds that once mocked Earth were now terrified. The Valari Republic shut its borders. The Zorathi Empire moved its capital to an asteroid belt. Even the ruthless Zarn Collective went silent. They had all underestimated the Terrans. For centuries, humans had begged for peace while studying their enemies. Now the tables had turned. On Earth's lunar base, Chancellor Lin sat in her command chamber. Dozens of holograms floated before her maps, signals, intercepted alien messages. She turned to her war advisor. "Was Unifor too much?" she asked softly. "No," he replied. "It was a necessary lesson." Lin nodded. "Then send the second wave." "But, Chancellor," he said carefully, "the Senate hasn't attacked again." She stared into space. "They will." Meanwhile, in deep space, another secret Terran fleet began to move. But this time, they weren't heading for battle. They were heading for a system Earth once traded with peacefully. System that betrayed humans during the grain crisis 20 years ago, causing famine on 2 Terran colonies. It was time to collect old debts. Back at the Senate, a deep divide had formed. Some wanted to apologize to Earth, beg for peace. Others wanted to launch a full-scale war. But no one had a full picture. No one knew Earth's numbers. Oh, no one knew their weapons. No one even knew where Earth actually was anymore. Some rumors said Earth was underground, hidden beneath a digital shield. Others claimed Earth had moved to place itself inside a moving Dyson sphere cloaked from the stars. Some whispered the unthinkable. Earth had created a second Earth, somewhere far away. One thing was certain. The Terran Doctrine was not a message, was a campaign, slow, precise, unstoppable. In a lonely prison satellite drifting near the edge of known space, a captured alien pirate sat trembling in his cell. He had seen the Terrans once. They didn't speak, didn't ask questions. They just looked at him, manned left. They didn't need to kill him. He already knew what that look meant. Judgment was coming. The stars were quiet, but fear echoed. Everywhere. Across the galaxy, alien worlds began to change their flags, rewrite their history, and erase past crimes against Earth. Too late. The Terran Doctrine wasn't about forgiveness. It was about memory. And Earth remembered everything. In the gold glass towers of the Norian Confederacy, Chancellor Volus called an emergency meeting. Its people had been allies of Earth once. But during the Orion food crisis, they betrayed a Terran colony, sending spoiled supplies that killed thousands. Volus tried to hide it. He burned the records, blamed smugglers. Kay stared at a message delivered by drone. "We remember Eliarathri." His blood turned cold. Within hours, every government system in the Confederacy began to fail. Power plants shut down. Satellites spun out of control. Every ship was locked from launch. And then the lights went out. The Terrans never fired a shot. They just turned everything off. Meanwhile, in the secret bunkers of the Galactic Senate, chaos ruled. Senator Morkin of the Grellan Union screamed into a transmitter. "We must attack. Wipe them out. Earth is only one planet." But even he knew it wasn't true anymore. No one knew how many Earth fleets existed. No one knew where they were hiding. No one could predict their next move. Terran cyber attacks were quiet, surgical, terrifying. An entire spaceport disappeared overnight, only vapor left. No alarms, no survivors. But not every world feared Earth. Some wanted to join them. In the distant Voidrim sector, the insectoid Veshahari sent a signal to Earth. "We regret our silence. We offer loyalty." The response came quickly. A single Terran envoy ship entered their orbit. It didn't land, it didn't speak. Instead, it broadcast one phrase across their skies. "Loyalty is not words. Loyalty is proof." The message was clear. Earth wanted action. Within hours, the Vishahari handed over their Senate spies, gave full access to their military codes, and surrendered 2 of their outer colonies once used for Terran slave labor centuries ago. The Doctrine accepted their terms. And for now, the Vishahari were spared. Back on Earthor, what was once Earthings looked very different. Chancellor Lin stood inside a massive observation dome, watching a new world rise. This wasn't the old planet. This was Earth Prime, a rebuilt planet in a cloaked system near the galactic edge. Hidden, weaponized. Controlled Earth had become something new. A ghost, a myth, a memory that could strike back. Lin spoke to her generals. 3 systems have offered peace. 2 more fell without resistance. But we have traitors still living freely. Her eyes narrowed. Activate Operation Echo. Far from the galactic core, a single freighter drifted quietly through an asteroid field. The pilot, a retired human named Kale Doran, sipped tea and read a digital book. He didn't care for politics. He didn't follow the Doctrine. He only cared about surviving. But tonight, something felt wrong. He glanced at his sensors. Nothing there, but his lights flickered. Then his ship's AI said one word: incoming. From the shadows, a Terran stealth fighter appeared. Kale froze. He hadn't seen that design in 20 years. The ship docked. 2 figures entered, silent, armored, deadly. Kale held up his hands. I didn't betray Earth. The lead Terran soldier removed her helmet. It was his sister, presumed dead during the Orion crisis. You left us, she said. You ran, Kale whispered. I was scared. She nodded slowly. We all were. But now you have a chance to fix it. He looked confused. How? She smiled slightly. By helping us find the last traitor. The one who sold Earth's location to the Senate. The one hiding inside the Senate itself. Elsewhere, the Galactic Senate's leadership gathered in total secrecy. No press, no security. Just fear. They argued for hours. Some shouted for war. Others begged for surrender. One voice stayed quiet. Senator Halricksan, old thin man from a small mining world, watched them all. Finally, he stood. You still don't understand, he said. Earth doesn't want territory. It doesn't want revenge. Doesn't want war. Then what? Does it want? One senator snapped. Halricks looked each of them in the eyes. It wants you to never forget. And somewhere, deep in Terran space, a room full of children watched an old video. It showed Earth's early years, wars, betrayals, famines. Then it showed the Doctrine's rise. A voice played over the images. We are not monsters. We are memory. We are the echo of everything you did when you thought we were weak. We are humanity. And we are awake. The room was dark. Only one spotlight burned, focused on a single figure tied to a chair. Senator Varric Solon. He had once been Earth's strongest voice in the Galactic Senate till he sold Earth's location to the highest bidder. Now he sat alone, surrounded by silence, until the door opened. Footsteps echoed. Then a woman stepped into the light. Chancellor Lin of Earth Prime. Her face was calm, but her eyes were storms. You thought we were dead, she said. Varric didn't speak. You gave away our coordinates. For what? Power? Credits? He finally answered, voice trembling. I thought Earth had no chance. The galaxy wanted us gone. Lin leaned closer. So you made sure they could find us when we ran. The trial was broadcast everywhere, but not live. Earth had recorded it, edited it, controlled every second. Now the entire galaxy watched, one day later, unable to stop it. And what they saw was not a trial, it was a message. The Terran tribunal was unlike anything seen before. No lawyers, no juries. Only a room of witnesses, Earth survivors, military leaders, and ghosts of forgotten worlds. Each stood and gave testimony. a woman from the Mars Resistance, a boy from the burning cities of Europa, an AI once shut down by Senate code. They spoke of betrayal, of Varric's deals, of how he warned enemy fleets just before Earth's defense grid fell. And through it all, Varric said nothing, till the last witness entered, a soldier in black armor, scarred, blind in one eye. Varric gasped. It was his own son. The boy stood still. "You left us," he said. "When the bombs fell, you were in the Senate." "I didn't know," Varric said softly. "Yes, you did," the son whispered. "And now the Doctrine will decide what you deserve." The Chancellor stepped forward. "The Doctrine is not revenge," she said. "It is memory. But memory demands action." She turned to Varric. "You may speak one last time." He looked around, saw only cold eyes. "I wanted to save myself," he admitted. "I thought Earth would fall like so many others." He paused. "But I see now Earth didn't fall. It changed. It became ... something stronger than I ever believed possible." He raised his eyes. "I'm sorry," but the Chancellor only nodded. "Sorry is not part of the Doctrine." Skadi raised her hand and the screen went black. The galaxy held its breath. What happened next was never shown. Some said Varric was sent into deep space, alone. Others believed his memories were erased and rewritten. But most believed the truth was worse. That Earth had found a way to make him remember every life he cost and feel their pain forever. Back in the Galactic Senate, panic spread. Worlds that once mocked Earth now sent peace offers, trade deals, and public apologies. Some tried to rewrite history. Others started destroying old records, trying to hide their betrayals before Earth found out. But Earth already knew. The Doctrine had eyes everywhere. Satellites, infiltrators, whispering. AI, every system that ever touched Earth tech was now infected. Meanwhile, on Earth Prime, the next phase of the Doctrine began. Chancellor Lin met with her generals in the underground war room. 27 systems have submitted, said Commander Yao. 5 more are resisting. Lin looked at the map. No one escapes memory. Yao nodded. But there is one complication. A screen lit up. A new fleet. Unknown origin. Massive. Power signatures. They were not Senate ships. They were something else. And they were headed straight for Earth Prime. Out in deep space, the mysterious fleet moved in silence. No calls, no warnings, no symbols. But their ships bore markings long thought extinct. Ancient Terran glyphs used before the fall, before the hiding, before the Doctrine. Somehow, somewhere, a lost piece of humanity had returned. But were they? Friend or something worse? Back on the Senate Capitol, the leaders met again, this time in fear. Senator Halrick stood before them. "We tried to destroy them. They survived. We tried to forget them. They remembered. Now they judge us." He looked at the others. "We have only one question left to answer. We become in a galaxy ruled by memory." The Terran Doctrine was no longer just a phrase. It was law. It was punishment. It was justice. And it was spreading faster than light, deeper than secrets, wiser than the old wars. Humanity had become something new, something ancient, something terrifying. Out past the Orion Bridge, where stars burn cold and old, the fleet moved like ghosts. No signals, no lights, no mercy. They weren't Galactic Senate ships. And they didn't belong to Earth Prime. They were something else. Ships painted in black, with ancient Terran glyphs carved into their hulls. Their engines hummed in strange frequencies. Some said they ran on fear. They were called the Lost Legion. And they were headed for Earth. Inside the command ship, a figure stood in silence, staring at a glowing map. General Cassine Vale, once thought dead, once betrayed by Earth's own government during the Exodus Wars, now he had returned not to destroy Earth, but to test it. "We see the signal," said his first officer. "Earth has activated the doctrine." Cassian nodded. "They remember." He said, "That's good. But memory alone is not enough." He touched a button on the console. "Let's see if Earth has earned its survival." Back on Earth Prime, alarms screamed across the defense grid. Hundreds of ships were entering Terran space using old Earth's military codes, but Earth never gave those codes to anyone. "Unknown vessels approaching," said Admiral Rana. "Should we engage?" Chancellor Lin watched the feed. She recognized the glyphs. Kara's eyes narrowed. "No," she said. "Not yet." The world watched in silence. On colonies from Mars to Titan, people looked to the sky. They remembered the stories the lost. Legion was a myth. It was said they had left during the darkest years of humanity's fall, abandoned Earth, vanished into deep space. Some said they went mad. Others believed they built something stronger. Away from weakness, away from diplomacy. Now they had returned. And no one knew if they came as saviors or executioners. Earth launched a single ship, no weapons. Just one diplomatic craft, carrying the Chancellor herself. As she approached the fleet, her pilot whispered, "Ma'am, this might be suicide." "I know," Lynn said, but so was forgetting. The moment her ship entered the Legion zone, all systems went dark. No power, no lights, no air support, just silence. Then a voice, deep, metallic, familiar. "You have activated the doctrine. Do you remember who wrote it?" Lynn stood even in the dark. "Yes," she said into the void. "You did." There was a pause, then light. The inside of the Legion flagship lit up and Lynn stood face to face with General Cassian Vale. Alive, scarred, burning with memory. "Why now?" she asked. "Why return after all these years?" He walked slowly. "Because the galaxy is watching you. And you still have a choice. Become like them, or become something greater." Lynn didn't blink. "We chose memory." Vale nodded. "But memory isn't loyalty. We left Earth when your leaders made peace with monsters. We built something harder, something cleaner." He gestured to the window. "You built the doctrine on justice. We built it on pain. Then came the test." Cassian sent a live message across all Terran systems. To a simple, "Do you trust your Chancellor with your lives?" The galaxy held its breath. And Earth answered not with words, but with action. Every planetary defense system powered down. Every weapon pointed away. And from the heart of Earth, one message was sent back. "We follow her, and she follows the doctrine." Cassian smiled. He turned to his officers. "Prepare the files." Then the archive. Lynn blinked. The archive. Cassian nodded. "The truth? Everything? The real history of the galaxy. Every betrayal, every hidden war, every planet sold in silence." He paused. "Even the secrets your Senate fears most." That night, the galaxy changed again. Billions received data dropped classified files, records of war crimes, videos of secret experiments on fringe species. Deals made by the Senate behind every empire's back. The galaxy screamed. Riots, coups, military walkouts. On 47 worlds, governments fell within hours. And Earth. Earth simply watched. The doctrine was no longer a warning. It was a virus infecting truth into systems long rotting from lies. But there was one final message from Cassian. To Earth, you have passed the test. To the galaxy, the time of forgetting is over. He looked directly into the camera. Welcome to the Age of Reckoning. The Lost Legion didn't stay. They vanished again back into the cold stars. But the damage was done. The galaxy was no longer ruled by wealth or old treaties. It was ruled by memory, by truth, and by Terrans.